Well, hey now. This is Mark, the DIY prepper guy, or whatever you want to call me today. I just got this new 12 volt, get it in focus, high performance inflator. Now, I've been wanting a 12 volt inflator because I have a dump trailer at my store, and the tire kind of goes low every once in a while. It has, four tires. They are always picking up nails. So I thought a portable inflator would be great, but most of them are just pure garbage. So I saw a lot of reviews on this I picked up at Harbor Freight. It was $140. Well, $139.99. I round things up, $140. And this thing is actually pretty badass. If I can get it to open up for me. Doing shit one-handed does suck. All right, so that's the prettiness of it. Is the handle. This thing weighs a lot. I mean, I was shocked at how much this thing weighs. So we got let me just get everything out of here. So this is all the stuff. This thing probably weighs 20, 30 pounds. It looks to be awesome. This is the hose attachment that goes to the compressor to the coily hose, which I have mixed feelings about those. I don't always like them, but that one looks to be pretty nice. I like that it has these quick connects on the ends of them. Same over here. And this part goes to the tire. So it comes around. So this end would hook up to the curly one and then to this. And it's got some pretty nice wire on it. And there's a lot of videos, and I did an unboxing real quick, because who needs to see somebody open a box? But I'm going to take this to the store tomorrow, and I'm going to hook it up, and I'm going to inflate the tire on my dump trailer so we can actually watch it in action. Now, there's a lot of these videos online, and most of them are probably well produced and better than mine. But I have 1, 2, 3 four-wheel drives, so I might be buying another one for my wife's Tacoma. From what I've seen, they can pump up pretty big tires fairly quick. I've seen it pump up 4 tires hooked to those 4-in-1 things in about 5-6 minutes. And all the other 12 volt ones, made by Slime and all that, they just burn up. They're no good. It takes like a week and a half to put 20 pounds of pressure in a truck tire. So I bit the bullet, pulled the trigger, and bought this thing today at Harbor Freight on my way home. I wanted to get it opened up and check it out. And I'm kind of mixed on my truck if I'm going to take these little clamps off and hook my welding cable attachments that I use for my dump trailer. So this is what I'm talking about. I put these heavy, I don't know what size cable are, like double-aught block kind of size, and it's hooked up here. And then when my dump trailer is hooked up, it plugs right into this, comes directly from the battery. And that way I don't have to have a battery in my dump trailer because those get stolen or they don't charge enough, because when you're running a dump trailer up and down a couple times a day, they get really drained, and then just running it off the battery for 20 minutes to the dump and 20 minutes back is not enough. So if I put that a charger in my dump trailer and then leave it at my store, some asshat crackhead will steal it, even though it has the locking box on front. If they know there's something in there, they'll figure it out. And I've already lost 3 of my permanent license plates, so I've had to replace those. So that's what I'm thinking for this trailer. and that inflator, but I'm not quite sure yet. All right, this is the inside of my dump trailer, and you can see these cables are actually the welding connectors. There's no battery in here, it just goes direct to the pump. Okay, well, we got everything hooked up. Red to red, black to black. Runs over there to the compressor. And then I got the little inflator, I should say, hooked up to the tire. And it is pretty low according to what it's reading. I can't get my scene figured out. What a fuck up. And the bugs are killing me. Alright, I hope you guys all enjoyed that video. I did get this at Harbor Freight. It seemed to pump up my dump trailer tires to 85 PSI in about 7 to 8 minutes. It was hard to tell exactly because I didn't have my timer running because that's my phone and it was recording. But as far as I can tell you, this is an awesome little inflator. Dollar for dollar. It beats all of the competitor ones out there that are similar in function and purpose as far as inflators. I have compressors, and I actually have a 1-gallon compressor by Fortress, which is a Harbor Freight compressor that will do things quicker because it's 4 SCFM, so it puts a lot of air in a tire really quick. But to use that, it's a little bit bigger than I wanted, and I would need an inverter on my truck, which I don't usually have. And then there's all that wiring that goes into it. I guess I could hook it to my welding cable outlets that go to my dump trailer, and that would give me quite a bit of power. But I wanted this more for the portability of it, for not just that, but for when I'm out and about or just traveling around. I can put this in the back seat. It's out of the way. I don't see it. It takes this handy little case. Everything goes in there. As the compressor, even though it's a small 1-gallon one, it's pretty good size and kind of tall. And I just thought this was a better idea. And if I'd have bought one of those 1-gallon compressors for this purpose only, it was more expensive than this. Now I am going to build me one of the 4-ways to where I could set this down, hook it up if I'm out 4-wheeling or camping, and equalize all my tires. Plus the same goes on my dump trailer. If I had them all exactly the same PSI, it's going to haul better and it's safer because I usually have right at 10,000 pounds of garbage and shit, and the trailer itself weighs 6,000 pounds. And then when I have it loaded to its max, that's another 4,000 or 2 tons. So having them all equalized would actually be pretty cool too. So I'm going to build one of those, and when I do, I can buy the kit, but I can build it myself almost for the same price, but then I get to build it myself. And of all the things we can do in our life, I think doing it ourselves is the best. So I'm extremely happy with this and the purchase. It's got the typical Harbor Freight warranty. I think it's 90 days on this thing. I've used it enough now to where if it was gonna screw up, it would. The unit itself is pretty heavy duty. Fucking mosquitoes. So I don't think this part of it's going to be problematic. It might be with the hoses or the gauge or the clamps. I think I'm going to leave these little alligator clamps on here and just hook it to my battery. I actually have a pair of jumper cables adapted to fit the welding connection under my back bumper, as you saw. And I can plug that in, and then it's got a 25-foot jumper cables connected right to it. So if I pull up next to somebody, I don't have to do the whole to hook it to the battery and to the front of their car and whatever to jump them. I can just plug those in, and they're perfect. So I like that. But I think for this thing, um, these are actually pretty good, and they're built to the gauge of that wire, so I'm not going to worry about it. I got my big head contraption on only because my littler mic is way out in the shop, which is that way about a quarter mile. Probably closer to an eighth, but it feels like a quarter, and at the end of a long day walking back, it feels like a mile. But I didn't want to get it. I just wanted to use this, and I could yell at the phone, but I didn't know if that would work real good with a lot of the ambient noise going on around here. So bear with my things here. So I'm just sitting out here having my morning cup of Joe, my Prepper Guy cup. Now on the other side of this, it says Prepper Gal, which used to be one of my websites. But I thought, prepping's prepping. Doesn't matter if you're a guy or girl. I just didn't want to call it Prepper Person. Having my morning, this is my Amazon coffee. It's actually pretty good. It's a Kona coffee blend, which is only about 10% Kona, because that shit is expensive, but it really tastes good. And it's the Keurig thing, which I like a lot. As far as prepping in the end of the world goes, I have a lot of green beans that I could roast, and I have a roaster and all that works on a spit kind of thing on a fire, open fire. I have an electric one that I could plug into my generator that kind of goes around like the old stir crazy. And most of the time when you're roasting your beans, I had a coffee roaster tell me that the spinny thing is actually to cool the beans. So it's more of a heat that gets your flavor, and then that cools them. Whatever. I got one. So I just wanted to thank you for watching and try to wrap this up a little bit more officially than just bye. So I hope you liked it. I don't think there's anything I've left out of it. It just is a tire inflator. I didn't have the box unboxing because I just feel it's a kind of a waste of time. We've all opened boxes since we were little kids at Christmas time. And it's fun, granted, and some of the boxing things make sense if you're buying electronics and you want to see the condition the box was in and how much foam there was in it before you buy something, because sometimes they'll just wrap it in a bag, throw it in the Amazon truck, and it gets all destroyed. But this thing's pretty heavy duty. I could drop it out of my truck probably and it wouldn't hurt it. So I'm not too concerned about that. Plus, it's just, to me, kind of a waste of time. And I'd rather spend my time rambling on about stupid shit like coffee and, saying a lot of and whatever. Behind me, you can see my house and all the work we've done on that over the years. I think we moved here 20 some years ago. So the old house was 100 years old. And then we added on front and back sections and making it, instead of less, I think it was close to 800 and some square feet. Now it's close to 3,200. And speaking of doing it yourself, me and my wife built all this stuff, the porches, the railings, bought the railing, but installed the railings, all the tile, all the trim, all the windows, all the installation. We built the whole fucking thing. And that's why I love doing things because I think I've probably saved over 150 grand just ending up with this house by doing all the work ourselves. I mean, when we moved here, My mom had passed away, so we ended up having to pay off a mortgage on it and all that. But all in all, it's been really a nice place to settle down for our retirement. And I kind of like it. If you look around, there's a lot of trees. You can't see them from this angle, but that's all mesquite trees, back in here. And they're probably 100 years old, a lot of them. That way, which you can't see, there's some bigger ones. I mean, we got some of the biggest mesquite trees in this area and the oldest. And, their trunks are like this big around, which I would never cut them down and use them for wood because that would just be a crime against nature and humanity. So anyway, if you have any questions, leave a comment on YouTube here. I'm going to put a link, kind of like a QR code, on the screen to where you guys can click that and go right to prepperguy.com. All the videos are there on the podcast and video feed on the front page, and there's just a lot more comments and content. I mean, on the blogs and other videos that were nutritionally minded or health and prepping and politics, which is what life is all about, right? Being healthy, figuring out who's trying to put you together and screw you, politics. It's just prepping and DIY. So, thank you all for watching. If you like this video, click like, share it, be awesome. Subscribe to my channel, that would be awesome. I'm not monetized and I haven't been for 10 years. But as I had a lot of subscribers and I was monetized on my YouTube channel a long time ago, I got booted for terms of service bullshit. So this one I just started up and I do what I do, and if they boot me, fine. If they don't, I don't care. But if I had the subscribers and the viewers, hey, maybe I'd make a few bucks off of each video. That would be kind of nice because I'm 70 fucking years old, and a little extra money would be kind of cool. I don't have retirement. I don't have Social Security or Medicare because I was such a rebel my whole life that I didn't pay much into it. I was always self-employed or working for somebody else as a consultant, and they weren't taking taxes out, and neither was I. So I fell short quite a few credits or whatever they call them. So it pays to be a rebel, but then again, sometimes maybe if I had played by their rules, I would have Social Security and Medicare and all that. But because I study so hard on nutrition and because I drink a lot of coffee, I'm pretty healthy. I mean, I still, at 70, I turned 70 a week ago, I don't take any medication. I don't take aspirin, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, no heart medicine. I eat primarily meat. 95, 99% of my diet is meat. I probably don't eat more than 20 grams of carbs a day, maybe 50 when I splurge. So, as you know, I can tell you for me and my body and my health, I'm fine at my age. And I recommend on my channel for everybody to look into not eating plant-based food because of the fiber in it that causes inflammation. Inflammation causes 90% of the problems we have in life, health related to. And just try to get to a carnivore diet, because if you're a prepper, there will come a time that's all you can do is kill it and grill it. You won't be in an area long enough to grow food. You might be able to forage, but in nature, once people quit gardening, there's not a lot to forage. Most plant life will kill you if you eat it and you don't know what you're doing. So as things break down, you can think, well, I'll farm and all that, but that's a lot of property and a lot of visibility in a world gone crazy. So we're all going to end up eating a lot less processed food because there'll be no one to process it. And a lot of the indigenous plant life, like where I live in Arizona, it's not really consumable. Nobody likes cactus. I mean, you could chop it all up and make a still, kind of, one of them solar stills with plastic over it and get a little bit of water. But that's all that's good for. There's no bananas. There's very little fruit. And the fruit that does grow wild in Arizona, like berries and stuff like that, it's not on the vine or on the tree for very long. My brother has apple trees right next door to me here, and the birds and the squirrels were eating it so much that he barely got, probably a couple 5-gallon things that weren't destroyed, of apples. And that would be like buying, 20, 30 pounds of apples, which is a lot cheaper than that fucking tree over there. So he rented one of them big air inflatable things that are like, woo, just blowing around like that. And actually bought it. And it seems to have kept the birds away because it freaks them out and it moves so randomly and it makes noise and, with the blower and stuff. And it's a pretty good idea, but I think he paid a few $100s for that, plus the watering and all the care and stuff. A lot of the apples he gave away to somebody that does canning and stuff. So I don't see a purpose in it, but if you're going to do that, you still need to work hard on being carnivore, because that's how we started in the Paleolithic period. We went from Neanderthal to Paleolithic, and that's the closest to us genetically and physiologically. And if eating carnivore diet was so bad for us and not recommended, then as a species we would not exist. So obviously it worked. We became agricultural based as a species maybe 8,000-10,000 years ago. And so we've always had it, around, and, we can always say, well, my ancestors this, or, the founding fathers that. But the reality is, we were born into a agricultural based lifestyle. And so we think that's the only way we can eat because that's what our ancestors did. But our ancestors did that because it's cheaper to feed people grains and carbs than it is to feed them meat. So there was an agenda to it for the kings and the priests and all that shit. So I'm just asking, look into it. Because if you're a prepper like I am, then you'll quickly learn the value of it when everything turns to shit. Not that we can't all hunt and kill when everything turns to shit, but for now I'm going to eat my ice cream and my sundaes and stuff. But don't forget to factor in, you might not live that long. If you have diabetes or heart disease and all these things which are caused by eating carb-based food. Not just because it's processed, it's because of the sugar. And the body can only burn, basically glucose, which is sugar, or ketones, which is fat. And there's a lot of cancer research now that proves that if you want never to get cancer, don't eat sugar. So that's where you're left, eating meat. I have no problem with it. I just took a steak out of the freezer for today. I got 3 pounds of bacon I cooked yesterday on the grill, and I'll eat that and a bunch of shredded beef that a friend of ours made for some kind of outing. So it's all like Mexican style beef that you would put in tamales and stuff. So, that's what I do. So I love you guys. Hope I didn't ramble too much, but take care, share, like, subscribe, all that cool shit would be totally awesome. Because I am old and I do like money. Bye-bye.
We've made too many compromises already, too many retreats. They invade our space and we fall back.
I'm your huckleberry.
The line must be drawn here. This far, no farther.
That's just my game.
Well, I hope you liked the video. I'm fucking out of frame. I should have said you better like the video. Fuck. Look at all the shit I had to put up with. Bugs, heat, lighting. Fuck.